Hi everybody, welcome back to the Glamry Shop, and I'm here again today with another tutorial to show you how you can make your very own fabric wall art piece. This idea kind of came around because I was looking around at my wall and my daughter's bedroom and her walls, and they're all bare. Like, I have a couple mirrors here and there, but I'm like, wow, like I really just don't have anything on the walls. So I also am kind of like, I'm not the person that likes to go to the store and just buy, something stock, some stock photos, some stock paintings or something like that. And then when I see something really unique, I'll be like, oh my God, I can make that. And I can make it in the colors I want. But today I'm gonna show you how to make your very own. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here's the supplies you'll need. You'll need some acrylic paint, paintbrush, glue gun, some old jewelry that you can use to adorn it, seam ripper, some type of marking pencil, pen, chalk, good fabric scissors. You'll need some heavy finish starch. They've got this one, they've got some extra firm, but I highly recommend this one or the extra firm one because you really want to get your fabrics crispy as possible. It'll make it easier to cut out, and it will just give it a very nice finish whenever you're doing your folding to get your flowers onto the board. You'll also need your circle templates. I have a 3-inch, a 6-inch, a 9-inch circle, and I will go ahead and link the template into the description box, but you can really make them whatever sizes that you want. You don't necessarily have to use these are just the ones I'm going to use today. I've got an old picture frame, 5x7, and I've got a piece of cardboard paper cut out. I used a 9.5 by 12 inch cardboard paper cut out, but you can use whatever size you want. You can make it as big or as small as you want to. For this project, I'm gonna do 9.5 by 12. Just know that if you get a larger one, I would suggest getting a larger picture frame so that it can be, stable on top of it and won't be too heavy. You're also going to need your fabric. So for this project, I'm going to use a faux leather skirt. I got some old denim pants from another project. And I have decided to use this dress that I was going to throw out because it had a couple bleach stains on it. And it wasn't quite fitting as well as I'd like, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it for this project. I like the colors, and I think I'd like those colors in my living room, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it for that. And those are all the supplies that you're gonna need. Okay, so to get things started, the first thing that I'm gonna do is paint the cardboard. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and paint mine's black. The reason I'm gonna do that is because I think it will kind of camouflage the background, as opposed to having it stark white. Because I'm using darker colors, it would stand out, it will pop out. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint my cardboard black to kind of blend in. Whatever colors you're using, you may want to think about painting it that color to make it like kind of blend into the background of whatever you're doing. So I'll go ahead and get this started, and it's going to take some time to dry, so that's why you want to go ahead and get started with this first. Okay, so now that I've got this all painted up, I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side, and then the next thing that you want to work on while that is drying is you want to work on your fabric. Now, for the purposes of this tutorial, I did spend a couple of hours last night ripping the seams out of this dress, the jeans, and the skirt. But at this juncture, I would suggest that you do that if you don't care about like if you don't have a very large project and you don't care about maximizing how much material you have, then you can just cut along the seams of your garment, and then you can, and just go about it that way, and that's a lot faster. I might have done that if I had thought about it earlier. Anyways, so at this juncture, that's what you want to do. Now, once you have everything cut out, you're going to want to press it with the heavy finish spray starch that I told you about first. And you really want to get a really good press on it. Again, so that you can straighten out any wrinkles or anything like that. And you want to get it pretty stiff. This one is as stiff as it's going to get for this particular fabric. It's very thin fabric. My jeans are like, 90s starched crease, straight and firm. And this is a pretty heavy material, so I had to steam it to get the wrinkles out of it. But this one, obviously I'm not going to use the starch on this, just again because it's vinyl. So you can't really put an iron to it, but I did steam it to make sure all of the wrinkles fell out of it. A word about material choices. When I did my first project, I used 100% cotton, and the starch seems to work better when it's 100% cotton. This material here is like a cotton mix. It's a blend, so it's not 100%. So it didn't get as stiff as a 100% cotton did. So I would suggest that for your project, you either go with a very heavy denim, vinyl, or 100% cotton where you can. Because the most important part is you want the material that you're using to have body when you're doing your folding. So I've already pressed mine out. So we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so the next part in the process is you want to go ahead and trace your circles onto your material. Now for this project, I know that I want to do 2 large flowers, so that's going to be 4 large pieces per flower. So I wanted the base of my flowers to be jean, and I wanted the base of them to be the faux leather. So I'm going to cut out 4 of the large ones in the jean, and then 4 in the leather faux flowers. And then I want the inside to be all 3 of the colors I'm using. So I'm going to cut 8 more of these. So I'm going to cut 8 of these out of the denim and the faux leather. I'm going to cut 8 more of these out of all 3 of them, just kind of randomly. And then I'm going to cut 4 of these per flower, so 8 more in kind of a random area. But I also want to do flowers with just these 4 pieces to make a smaller flower on the side. So I'll also cut out an additional 8 of these, because I want 2 of those at least, and I'll cut out more. Okay, so I went ahead and did all of them, all the circles that I needed, plus probably a couple extra just in case I needed for filler. So as you can see, I've got my large ones on my denim. If you can see the darker kind of shapes there, I'll go over that in a second, but those are like my hand-drawn leaves. And then on the final, I ended up using my chalk, my marking chalk, because it was much easier. Same thing with the rest of the denim. I ended up switching to my fabric marker because that chalk wasn't, I couldn't see it. So I was like, yeah, forget that. And then for my last one, I ended up using the fabric marker. And then here, I will show you how I got the leaves, because the last piece of the puzzle is you do need some leaves inside of your 9x12 square. You need some other filler pieces, because once you'll see when we get started, like the pieces will make the flowers, but then you'll have all this blank space, so you'll need to fill that in and you'll want to make it unique. So I hand draw my leaves just because I feel like the leaves on the tree have similar shapes, but they're not all exactly alike. So I just do a shape that looks kind of like a leaf and you'll get it. It'll be all super unique. So, okay, so as you can see the templates that I've drawn here. And then to make your leaves, I just take it in a similar leaf pattern and just freehand it, and then I square off the bottom because it'll make it easier for you to stick it on. So I'll just make quite a few of these, and then I'll be ready to cut out. Okay, so now you can see I have got my various circles cut out. Here, that was 8 of this one, 8 of this one, and then about 12, I might have did a couple extra, 15 of those. And then over here I've got all of my leaves cut out in my various shapes and sizes. So now that you've got this part done, you can go ahead and put this stuff to the side, and then we're going to work on our frame piece. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take this cardboard and you're going to take your picture frame that we had set to the side, and you're gonna glue the cardboard on top of the picture frame. Now, why we're doing this is so that your board can have an even firmer backing, as well as it's gonna make it super easy to put it on the wall because you're just gonna hang it by the hook on the picture frame already existing. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our glue gun, and we're just gonna put a nice little bead all the way around. I think I'm out of glue. Nice little bead around, pretty thick because we don't want it to come off. Okay. And then I would say turn this over so you can kind of gauge it a little bit better. Like if it's going to be in the middle, I'm going to just eyeball it. And it looks pretty centered to me. And then I'm just going to press it down. So I've let that dry, so now it's on there pretty good. So the next part is the fun part. So now we're gonna go ahead and make our base flowers. So I'm gonna make one here and here, and then I'm gonna fill in the rest. So the base of the flowers, we cut out 4 of the vinyl, and you wanna take it and fold it in half this way, and then fold it in half again so that it's in 4 parts. And that is how you're going to make the base of your flower. And then once you have your base, you kind of gauge like where you want to have it. I would say you want it to kind of flow off of the frame a little bit. And then you can just take your glue stick, put it on. Press it down, and then you may have to put in one more little drop in the middle. Press it down, and that's gonna keep it tacked down. And then you're gonna do this all the way around until you have it in like basically a little circle. So you're gonna take it, glue, probably got a little Vesalius on that one. Put another dot and tack it down. Okay, now you can see I've got my 2 flowers tacked down on here, and as you can see what I mean about the texture and the fluffiness. So you really want to make sure you put a good press if you're using like a cotton or a jean or something like that. That way you can get the volume and it can really like pop up off of your flat surface here. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take the smaller ones and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do them, make the folds, fold it into 4s in half and then half again, and then you're going to take it and you're going to kind of catty corner the petals here like this, so that it's in between where you got your spaces for the big ones that you put in. And you're going to do the same thing. Just take your glue gun, put it down there, and again you're going to put another little one inside and tack it down. And that's how we're going to make the interior. Now, I said you know, when it comes to starting the buildup, I really want to randomize it. So I'll do like the jean, and then I'll do one in here, and you're gonna just kind of layer it on top. And see, now you can see it's already starting to come together, like the pretty little contrast of the colors. And like I said, you just want to do that. You want to do 4 though of this medium size. Okay, so now you can see I've got my second layer, and then so we've got one more layer to put on there. See, it's getting kind of heavy. And I'm going to do the same thing, and I've got about 15 of these, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put 4 on there, and we're going to do our buildup. So I start off with the jean here, and again, you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to corner it in there as much as you can, and you're still just going to do the 4 petals. And because it's a center, it doesn't have to be as flat, so when you tack it down, it can stand up just a little more. That way, got all these little cobweb strings from the glue. That way, anyways, you can see it'll like kind of stand up a little bit more, so it'll make like your center of your flower. So now you've got your main 2 flowers built. So once it's got had a little time to dry, and you make sure it's really stuck on there, what you want to do is you want to take the bottom petals of your flowers, and you want to take it to where you see the fold here, and you want to just kind of give it a little tug and move it to where it's not flat in there, and that's gonna give it some more volume. So I went ahead and I went all the way around, and I pulled them up like I showed you, just making sure to pull them out, and you can really see that it's got like a lot of volume now, which is what I'm going for, because I really want it to be like a standout piece and stand out from the wall and pop out. So anyway, so once we've got that out, now we've got to fill these spaces here. So one way we're going to fill those spaces is we're going to make mini flowers, kind of like what we did in the center, only using the small size, folding them. And let's see, I'll do it one here, and we're just going to tack it down, the one little fold. And we're going to just do 4 of them. You can see now that I've got, it's pretty full here on the plate, and it's coming together really, really nicely. So now I'm going to take my leaves, and I'm going to just tack them down so that they stick out from the flowers and fill up this extra space. And you may have to layer some of the flowers. They're small. You can see I've got one here, and you want to make sure that all of your board is covered up as much as possible. And you've got a lot to kind of play with, so like I said, you just want to kind of stick them in here anywhere you see a board. Again, it doesn't matter like color wise, it can be anything you want it to be. So I am finished putting all of the leaves on here, and you can really see how good it came out. Like, there's no spaces, and if there are spaces, they're black. So you can't even see them. But it really just kind of came out better than I was hoping for. So we've only got one more step, and the last thing that you're going to do is that jewelry that I told you to have. So I've got like a leaf pendant here and another ring with some blankety blang on it that I'm going to put on here, because of course it wouldn't be glam if we didn't have a little bit of a shine, right? Okay, so the last part that we're going to do is we're going to stick the pendant onto the flower, just to add a little bit of shine, because of course it wouldn't be glam if it didn't have a little bit of a bling bling, you know what I'm saying? So we've got that one stuck down, and all you're gonna do is this one will be a little bit more challenging because it's a ring. All I'm gonna do is take a little bit of glue, put a sizable amount because this one's a ring, and I've got to stick it down in the glue, let the glue harden, and voila, there you go. Still drying there. Okay, so here's the final product. I've got my pendants put in there, my ring, my pendant. The pendant tried to give me a little bit of a problem, but I just kind of squeezed it in between the petals, so it doesn't pop out as much as the ring does, but I think it's still gorgeous anyways. It came out better than I expected, and it's just a piece to give your room a little vavoom. Okay, that's it for the tutorial today. I hope that you guys enjoyed our project, and I hope that you go ahead and get the bug and make your own. I would love to see pictures of those. You can tag me on Instagram at The Glamry Shop, and just let me see the things that you've created. You can also go ahead and comment below if there's another project that you want to see, or if you've got some questions about this about this project that we did right here, you can go ahead and send those in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to this channel because I will be putting out new tutorials every Wednesday. Thanks so much for joining us at The Glamry Shop. Till next time.